Have you ever wondered, when did humans fast for the first time? The truth is, we do not have an exact date. There is no single moment in history when we can say, here, fasting was born. This practice stretches back to the dawn of belief itself, to humanity's first attempts to connect with forces beyond the material world, to seek spiritual clarity, to approach unseen powers. Fasting was never a single mold poured into which all civilizations cast their hunger. It was a journey shaped by geography, culture, and faith. What fasting meant to Greek philosophers was very different from the purification rituals performed in the temples of Memphis and Thebes. Between complete abstinence and partial restraint, between silence fasts and devotional fasts, voluntary hunger became a universal language spoken across civilizations. Today, we embark on a deep historical journey to uncover the lost archive. How did hunger transform from instinct into sacred practice? And how did fasting evolve over thousands of years into the forms we know today?
In ancient Egypt, Kemet, fasting was more than just refraining from food. In the ancient Egyptian language, it was called abwu, literally meaning purification. In the inscriptions of the Temple of Edfu, records describe priests fasting for over 40 days before entering the Holy of Holies, abstaining from oils, meat, and fish. Even the Ebers Papyrus mentions fasting as a therapeutic practice, advising patients to refrain from eating to stimulate the body's natural healing. Historical sources also recount communal fasts during national crises, such as a delayed Nile flood, as acts of devotion to the god Hapi. To this day, echoes of this ancient discipline remain, reflected in the Egyptian tradition of plant-based fasting, as if wisdom itself traveled from temple walls into collective memory across millennia. Far from the Nile, fasting in Greece was considered training for the mind. Socrates and Plato regularly fasted to attain mental clarity. Pythagoras imposed fasting on his students for weeks before teaching mathematics, believing that a full stomach stifled creativity. To the east, in India, fasting during Ekadashi purified karma and cultivated control over desires. In ancient China, followers of Taoism practiced bigu, abstaining from grains to harmonize with the energy of the universe and extend life. Across continents, ancient sages agreed, voluntary hunger is the price one pays for wisdom.
Even in the most remote communities, fasting held sacred meaning. Among Native Americans, fasting was part of the vision quest, young men venturing alone into the wilderness to discover their life path. In parts of Africa and Australia, fasting marked the rite of passage, a test of endurance and self-control before joining the ranks of men.
Within the Abrahamic traditions, fasting has remained central. In Judaism, Yom Kippur is one of the holiest days of the year, marked by complete abstinence as a path toward repentance and spiritual purification. In Christianity, fasting is closely associated with Lent, a sacred season of reflection and preparation before Easter.
Before Ramadan became widely observed, the Arabian desert already knew the idea of sacred hunger. In pre-Islamic Arabia, local tribes practiced fasting on certain days as an expression of spiritual discipline and communal devotion. One well-known example is the fast observed on what later became known as Ashura, a day marked by reflection, abstinence, and symbolic acts of devotion. These early practices were often linked to older monotheistic beliefs, known as the Hanif tradition, tracing back to the teachings of Abraham. Fasting was not merely about refraining from food, it was a preparation of the mind and spirit, a way to cultivate self-control, empathy, and connection with the divine. When Islam emerged in the Arabian Peninsula, it inherited this spiritual concept, integrating fasting into a structured, communal ritual that united individuals across social classes, from traders and nomads to scholars and leaders. With the advent of Islam, fasting evolved into an organized religious practice observed annually during the month of Ramadan. Fasting became a discipline combining physical abstinence with spiritual reflection. Individuals refrained from food, drink, and other bodily indulgences from dawn to sunset, turning each day into an exercise of patience, empathy, and moral awareness. The purpose of this fast is not only personal devotion, but also social cohesion. Everyone, rich or poor, young or old, experiences the rhythm of hunger and reflection together. This collective act fosters empathy, mindfulness, and a sense of equality. In essence, fasting in Islam, like in Judaism and Christianity, is a practice designed to elevate the human spirit above the needs of the body, transforming daily abstinence into a yearly journey of self-discipline, introspection, and spiritual growth. But the story did not end in temples, nor with philosophers, nor even with divine legislation. In the 21st century, science returned to the question once more. What truly happens inside the human body when we fast? In 2016, Japanese scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering a mechanism known as autophagy. The word literally means self-eating, yet it is not destruction, it is cleansing. When the body abstains from food for a period of time, cells begin breaking down damaged components, recycling them, and renewing themselves. A silent, precise process, like a repair workshop operating in the dark. Modern research revealed that temporary hunger can activate deep cellular repair systems, systems humanity may have sensed intuitively thousands of years ago, long before microscopes existed to witness them. And so, ancient wisdom met modern science. What was once practiced in pursuit of spiritual clarity was shown to carry measurable biological impact.
From the temples of Egypt to the peaks of the Himalayas, from the philosophers of Athens to the minarets of Medina, to the laboratories of the 21st century, fasting remains the invisible thread connecting humanity. It has never been only about hunger. It has always been about freedom, freedom from the domination of the material world. And now, after uncovering the lost archive, how will you approach your next fast? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the Lost Archive to continue exploring the depths of forgotten history. See you in the next story.